On the eve of the zombie outbreak, I hid in a mountain air raid shelter. Stocked supplies. Sure I'd survive. I jolted awake to news on the living room TV. Manxia, did you hear me? A roar snapped me back. In the shabby 30 square meter room, my relatives were crammed together. Wasn't this the day? 2 weeks before the end, when they came to make me move out? But I'd just been at the eastern base, in a corpse nest under siege, surrounded by zombies. Nowhere to run. Waiting to die. Grandma scolded. After your mom died, your stepmom treated you as her own. Everyone says she's good. Your brother's marrying. Lend him your place. Why be stingy? My stepmom, Li Ling, played peacemaker. She's not. She'll be grateful. Then she pressed. Move out and buy new furniture. Your brother's wedding matters. As his sister, you can't spare a penny. I laughed. They wanted my home and my cash. Last life I gave in and called them family. When the apocalypse hit, they kicked me away to buy time, jumped on the rescue truck, and left me behind. That's when I learned what family was. I swept their cheap fruit into the trash. Manxia, you...
What are you doing? Mom bought you apples. Love apples.
Let me have a moment. Apples are my favorite. And these are mine. How dare you talk to me about the house? I stared at her. Ice cold. A weapon forged by 10 years alone. Han Ying shivered. And backed down. Manxia, what's wrong? Please, like a family, help your only brother. When you marry, we'll get you a place. Pay back what? Dad said, glaring.
You think this house is yours? Girls need no house. Marry. Have your husband buy one. Don't fight, brother.
What's there to argue? I wasn't even angry. After the apocalypse, I'd already learned Han Ying was his real son. 2 million. Dad snapped. Manxia, sell us the house? Don't joke. Where would we get that money? Grandma said. I'll count to 5. Refuse and I'll sell it. 5? We're your elders. Talking money? She trembled. She called me an ungrateful brat and rose to beat me. I stopped him. 3, 2, enough. We agree. I reached for my phone. Leland hurried to sign, and I saw his scheme. It's worth 3 million. At 2, he clears one. At the bank my phone chimed. 2 million received. A loss. But fast. For me, time matters as much as cash. Once they buy it, they're broke and won't stock supplies. The housing office is closed. We'll transfer the deed after it reopens. Li Lin smiled, but I knew she feared the unwed daughter-in-law most. Han Ying then said, Manxia, since
We bought the house. One day to toss your junk and that mangy dog. Don't let me see it again.
Those words struck like thunder. I jolted. Shitian, my dog, is alive. I quit humoring them, turned, and ran home. I yanked open my bedroom door. A black German shepherd slammed into my arms. He'd been circling inside, wise enough to stay silent. I hugged him, tears rising. He's alive. Mom's birthday gift. Last life. Han Ying's family killed and ate him while I hunted food. This time, you won't be hurt. Mechanical voice rang out. I stared at the void in disbelief, grabbed the phone on the table on a whim and tried it. A 4 cubic meter empty space actually formed in my mind, and my phone was lying securely in that space. I tried silently thinking phone, and a second later the phone returned from the space into my hand. I was instantly overjoyed. Just as I thought, could this be the legendary system? I began frantically stuffing things into the space.
Sealed. Bed found. Worth 39 yuan. Reward 3 cubic meters. Luomu furniture detected.
A 4-piece set worth 25,000. In just about 10 minutes. Anything that could be moved I stashed into the space. I didn't even spare the trash can at home. When I heard that price I couldn't help but spit. What a fucking bad omen. Then I set my sights on those that couldn't.
Unmovable objects detected. 1 toilet valued at 19 yuan. Detected a washstand valued at 69 yuan. Detected a car range hood.
Within an hour I stripped the house clean. The walls stayed. Everything else came off, netting 289 cubic meters of space for storage and supplies later on. Pleased, I looked at Shatian. A broker led us through woods to an air raid shelter on a desolate hill. Why rent a shelter? He asked. Starting a business. Mushrooms, I said. He stared like I was the world's biggest sucker. Took my money. Signed. Pocketed a 50 yuan fee. And bolted before I could back out. I let him go. 10 years in the apocalypse taught me. Never warn idiots. Idiots are the disaster. The shelter was enormous. About 5 basketball courts. yet only 2,000 yuan a year. 3 years prepaid was 6,000. Shatan and I checked it inside and out. There was an old ventilation system, and a well the previous tenant left behind. I tested the water. When the treatment plant is contaminated, tap water won't work, and this well will. I also found a power line. It's dead, but wiring exists. Yet a generator and the shelter can run. Then a tone sounded in my mind. Super Overlord system activated.
Detected base war dog. Reward, combat, and physique up 100x. Reinforce the original base. System shows reinforcement level.
I stared at Shatan in awe. She'd grown sturdier, brimming with life. To earn more rewards, I drove Mom's old sedan to the building supply market. At a wire mesh shop, I ordered 20 square meters of circular fencing. 7 yuan per meter. 14,000 yuan total. The owner sent a truck. I had the driver dump it on an empty suburban lot, claiming another car would pick it up, then sent them away. After dark, with no one around, I moved every roll into my storage space. Then I drove Shatan back to the bunker, thinking I'd need a rented warehouse as a transfer point once purchases grew, so roadside unloading wouldn't draw eyes. Back inside, I reinforced the rusty fence left by others, wrapping it meter by meter while Shatan fetched tools. We worked all night to dawn, finishing the last tie as a system prompt sounded. Finally, barbed wire reinforcement reward. The reward has been dropped. In a blink, the reinforced wire fence thickened. An outer ring of spikes gleamed. The flimsy gate turned into a steel lift door. I shoved hard. Nothing moved. Even thousands of zombies together wouldn't break it. I planned to buy more, but my stomach growled. Shatan circled me, humming. She was hungry too. We'd barely eaten yesterday, and after a full day we still hadn't had a proper meal. Then I remembered. With a thought, a bag of soup dumplings appeared in my hand. Still hot. I pulled the fridge from the system space. Even without power, it stayed cold. The space must be sealed and constant. What goes in comes out unchanged, so nothing expires. From now on I can hoard supplies freely. Along the suburban highway were old farmhouses. Most villagers had moved to the city, and many were for rent. I rented a large one by the main road near the bunker as a supply relay, storing purchases there before shifting them inside via the space. It kept things hidden and made trips in and out easy. The landlord was in his 40s or 50s.
300 monthly rent.
I'll pay 400. No deposit.
Fine. 400 then. But don't damage the house. Leave on time.
I paid 400 yuan for the key and didn't wait for the lease to expire. Once I rented the warehouse, I started stocking up. First, food, 10 shops, 450 gen rice bags each, 100 tons. It cost over 400,000 yuan, enough for lifetimes. Next were Chili instant noodles, basically a luxury. I bought 10 cases of almost every flavor, about 70,000 yuan. Then sausages, 20 cases of corn and spicy links, plus 10 cases of Wuzhong pickled mustard, under 30,000. After that, self-heating meals and ready kits. I grabbed a case of every dish, over 20,000 packs, around 150,000. In a single day I spent nearly 700,000. I had 300,000 saved and sold my house for 2 million. I still had 1.7 million, but it burned fast. I opened my palm. A red deed, the house I just sold to my stepmother. I searched online for a local private lender and called. Hi, I want to mortgage a property. Tomorrow?
My office? Nah.
On the phone, I gave a laugh. Debts must be paid, and paid back double. Just wait. My gift will arrive soon. To fund supplies, I pawned my deed to a lender. A 300,000 yuan house got me 1.5 million, but in 10 days I must repay 200,000. Fine. I don't live there. 10 days later is 2 days before Doomsday. Enough for them to hound my stepmother who wants the house. Pity I won't see them tear at each other. I then drained every loan out for another 500,000. Bought 40 to 50 top cameras with night vision and alarms, and went for a generator.
Boss warmly greeted me. Any kilowatt size. 3, 5, 20 to 80. Even 1,000 plus.
Bigger units cost more. The boss walked me through. 30 kWh runs 1020k, 200 kW 50100k, 300 kW 100k plus. Online prices double. 1000 kW plus starts near $1 million. Imports cost more.
Imports cost 20 to 30% more. So I'll buy domestic. Same quality, more practical.
For a restaurant? He asked. Worried outages would hurt business. I bluffed that I wanted the best. One and done. money no issue, and played the tycoon, ordering the priciest 1.2 million unit. The boss beamed and tossed in about 10 liters of diesel. My eyes lit up. Could he get diesel cheaper? It's hard to buy. ID registration. Only a few liters each time. He smiled, pulled me aside, and slipped me a card.
Call and say I sent you. Get 20% off market.
I took card, realizing related trades share connections. Leaving, boss call.
I said, flu is spreading. Business is bad.
I left without a word. That flu was New Oshi's warning. 2 weeks after it spread, the infected began dying suddenly, one by one, before anyone could grieve. The dead rose again as zombies. Last time, I was tied up with Han Ying's wedding. I paid for furniture and remodeling, and when his wife turned up pregnant, I kept taking him to the hospital. The day New Oshi hit, we were there for the report when screams ripped down the hall and the hospital erupted. Any dire person would collapse within 5 minutes and join Shaw's ranks. To save my pregnant sister-in-law, I dragged her out through the riot, because I looked competent. Every later supply run, each dangerous one, was dumped on me. I used to think protecting family felt good. Now it's ridiculous. It depends who you're saving. A nest of beasts like them never deserved it. When the generator reached the warehouse, I called Mingtian Sheng about diesel. Delivery could be tomorrow. So I bought out 100,000 yuan of stock. I stored the generator in my space. Today cost 200,000. Back at base, I placed it in the storeroom of the bunker. The system prompted again. Choose.
10 kW gen. Unbreakable.
The ultra-low power generator shocked me. I'd feared its lifespan, but the system gave it an ultimate upgrade. Cleaner and stronger than I installed cameras along yesterday's reinforced wire fence. Linking them to the generator circuit, the feeds popped up on my PC at once, clearly catching every movement.
Great rewards. Surveillance upgraded. EI range up tenfold. Auto detects living and non-living. Grid attack max 10,000 volts. I watched.
Monitor image. Over 10 times sharper? The old 100-meter view now stretches to a full kilometer. And the road beyond the distant woods is clear in every detail now. There's a 10,000-volt electric grid too. With that defense, any intruder dies on the spot. Shutian, don't go near the wire fence. He buzzed. His upgrade boosted his brains? I kept cleaning and found even the cleanup.
Rewards. Well upgraded. Endless spring water. Fewer weeds. Rich soil. Planted crops yield X100 and grow X10 faster today.
The boost snapped me awake. I could plant fresh fruit trees and live off the land. Next day I hit the farmer's market, buying piles of common seeds. At home I found half an acre, set in apples, peaches, and pears, and used the rest for vegetables and sweet potatoes. So even after the end we'd still eat greens. With that done, my top fear was wildfire. Cutting front trees would expose my safe house. So I cleared a fire break near the safety fence, hoping it works.
Detected hazard reduced.
Nothing in the bag will burn. I upgraded the air raid shelter's safety again. Online orders keep arriving. I collect them at night. A huge camera watches the warehouse door. No danger yet. Inside, 100 rice bags and 1,000 noodle boxes are stacked neatly.
Fill warehouse to earn super warehouse item.
The storage's permanent fresh vault door became a thick metal bank safe. Only my red iris can open it. Inside, supplies auto-sort and stow, and nothing ever expires. At 6 a.m. I woke on my bunker bed. 10 days had slipped by. Every morning I ran 10K around the shelter, boosting stamina fast. With 3 days left before the apocalypse, I drove downtown for final supplies. After days away, the city felt wrong. Everyone wore masks over their faces.
Nervous girl. What do you want? Sell these. Man, close early.
Heading home, I stopped at Kui Fudao's live chicken and duck stall. A dozen birds looked healthy. So I said, knock the price down and I'll take them all. I paid a bit over 190 and bought 26 chickens and ducks, so I can eat meat whenever I want. Since I have a long-term storage warehouse, I ordered 10 gin of pork and 50 gin of beef and paid extra for same-day delivery to the warehouse I'd rented for her.
Okay, hurry home. Flu's bad.
The vendor took my money and told me to go out less. I left. The flu wasn't the zombie virus, just something that spread wide and weakened people. The true source was unclear even in my last life. I only knew humans later showed different mutations. I hit a sporting goods store for the toughest baseball bats and expedition gear. Whips, batons, helmets, armor, tents, protective suits, tactical jackets. About 20K total. Seeing emergency kits, tweezers, tourniquets, tape, thermometers reminded me to restock medicine. At the pharmacy, I bought piles of cold meds, antidiarrheals, antipyretics, vitamins, bandages, alcohol, iodine. By the time I left, it was dark and neon bright. Essentials were basically covered. Before the end, I wanted one last indulgence. I went to the McEwen Grand Hotel, ordered a lavish banquet, and had 10 portions of garlic shrimp and filet mignon packed for Chateauneuf. After checking into a suite, I swept the mall food court, clearing out snacks for delivery upstairs. Bread, cheeses, cakes, ice cream, pastries, every flavor of Korean fried chicken, and one of every milk tea drink. Snacks alone ran 200K plus. Then I went to the basement supermarket for soups and daily goods, shoes, creams, sanitary pads, disposable towels, wet wipes, and told the manager to prep the whole inventory for purchase. My cash was nearly gone when I spotted two familiar figures, my good brother and my sister-in-law.
Calm down. Easy.
Trying to sweet-talk him, Tiki coaxed Han Ying. How can I trust you? You said the house was move-in ready. It was a bare shell. Now a debt collection firm wants it back. I see it. Your family conned me. I can't keep this baby. I'm getting an abortion right now. I listened from the corner, smirking coldly. I called out, then ran toward the underground garage. He ignored his wife and chased me to the parking lot, where Han Ying, panting, blocked me in a corner, furious.
Caught you, cheater.
If you want to kill me, same here. I could handle 10 of him. Half an hour later, Han Ying was a barely breathing lump. I took his phone, transferred his 30,000 yuan, then called 120. Death was too easy. I wanted him to taste a life worse than death. Using his phone, I texted his parents. I've been beaten. Menu Mall basement. Come to the hospital now. She'd stay out for at least 3 days. When she woke, the apocalypse would be here. No time for police. Back in my suite, deliveries had piled up. I stashed everything into my space and stayed the night. TV news warned the flu was severe, urging people to stock supplies and avoid going out. I trained for 3 hours, showered, checked bunker/warehouse monitors, then video called Chateauneuf and told him to guard the warehouse. He agreed to stay in the doghouse. At 5 a.m., sirens woke me. Outside, police cars and ambulances filled the street. Staff knocked. Guests were fainting. I rode down. Then a piercing scream rang out. The virus had erupted early. I hit the button for the 5th floor instead of the lobby. The hotel connected to a mall. Before 6 a.m. it was deserted. Crowds are the first day killer. From the dark 5th floor atrium I heard chaos outside. Down on the street, a blood-soaked man rushed a morning runner. A day early, Doomsday had arrived. I ran deeper in, aiming for the parking levels to avoid elevators. Then the empty mall supplies flashed before me. How could I leave empty-handed?
Superlord system online. 2-hour limit. Each 10,000 yuan supplies grants 1 cubic meter pocket space.
So it's you, my dear golden finger. I pulled a baseball bat from my space, smashed the glass case, and charged in. Anything my hands touch goes to my storage. I didn't care about cameras. At sunset, who checks footage?
Detected 279 women's items worth 650k. Reward 65 cubes. 14 men's worth 580k. Reward 58. 92 luxury bags worth 1.89 m. Reward 189.
189 cubic meters. Men's, women's, kids, underwear, designer bags. I took it all, clearing shop after shop until nothing remained. Every shelf wiped bare. Spotless too. In about an hour, I'd emptied the luxury floors. Next was the phone dealer. The newest Apple phones and tablets. All gone. Then the high-end cosmetics counter. Anything I'd ever dreamed of. Vacuumed into my space. Diamond rings, gems, jade, and gold from the windows followed. In 2 hours, my storage ballooned past 10,000 cubic meters. Luxury really is money. Passing the food court, I snagged ovens, an ice cream maker, and a coffee machine for later. Finally, I hit the basement warehouse supermarket and swept entire row in under half an hour.
Total 1,480 cube
Space. I leaned on a shelf in the warehouse, cracked a cold Coke, and drank. The chill slid down my throat. I squinted, pleased. 1,480 cubic meters, about a 10-story building's worth. The city's mall was already swept clean. I headed for the parking lot. The underground garage was orderly. Yesterday, I'd parked right by the exit, waiting for this moment. I floored it and blasted out. It wasn't even 7 a.m. The city should have been waking up. But a dawn zombie virus had dropped it into silence. In the first 2 hours, breakfast stands, night guards, and hospitals were hit first. Commuters were worse, especially the ones jammed on public transit. The opening slaughter. I knew it was only the start. Lots of people were home and hadn't stepped out before everyone caught on. This was the best chance to leave. Once the panic exodus began, every road would freeze. But I wasn't racing to the bunker yet. The outbreak came a day early, and I was still on a central highway. Luckily, the roads were clear, so I kept the pedal down, rushing back. A young woman suddenly spread her arms and stood in my lane. I braked. On the curb, her boyfriend was holding up an old man who'd fallen. I got it. Someone's passed out. Take her to the hospital. She wouldn't move. My gaze cooled. I hit the gas. She jumped aside at the last second, yelling that I was cold-blooded and selfish.
Compassion? People today are all selfish. We're still warm-hearted. No.
Before they reacted, I heard her husband scream. In the mirror, he vomited and toppled his wife. I looked away. Kindness, help, apologies. Those are for heaven. This is hell. I floored it and, 40 minutes later, cleared the city for the suburbs. I didn't go straight to the bunker. Shatan was at the warehouse guarding supplies, and I wouldn't leave her. She barked when I opened the door. I patted her head. In a rush, I pulled the hall into my space, locked up, and drove to shelter. An hour later, I sank into a sofa, opened a cola, and watched TV with her.
Emergency news. Nationwide attacks. Everyone stay indoors. Secure doors and windows. Await rescue.
National TV cut all signals and aired one notice. Wait for rescue. Repeated 3 times. I knew this scene. When the apocalypse hit in my last life, TV said the same. Only survivors understand that after the end, you must rely on yourself and scavenge supplies. I looked at the shelter I'd built, eyes bright. I'll make it a steel fortress. On the grass outside, I used lumber to build a pen. For the wave, the 20-odd chickens and ducks I bought appeared inside. I'd stored them in my space. It works on livestock, not shatian, and not on people. Only simple creatures. As I turned back to the shelter, it detected a base.
chicken breeding next.
Before Yang Wuji rejoiced, a voice. Bedroom detected.
Defense phase complete. Claim a rank bundle. Base security plus 100%. Plus lightweight sword tower short sword. LV10 advanced.
System rewards fell onto the grass. A forge-like sword tower, 1,000 tons of fuel, and a luxury armored vehicle in storage. I summoned the vehicle. Its giant camo hull shone like cold steel, utterly imposing. I'd driven armored cars before. After one look, I knew it could easily bulldoze any zombie pack. Shatian, let's move. I headed to the arrow tower, climbed up, and entered the system's precision crossbow turret. 8 narrow windows formed a clean sniper view, covering 10 meters around the base. A powerful crossbow waited inside, with 10 stacks of short bolts. I loaded one, aimed at a fruit tree at the forest edge, and fired. The bolt tore through and knocked a cabinet down. I ran over with Sha-chan, pulled it out, and it was still usable, almost silent, with brutal penetration, built for the apocalypse. Walking back, I remembered the system. With higher completion, would a grade rewards increase? In the bunker I ate with my dog, then trained hard to get back to peak condition. Before long, a sharp bing sounded in my mind.
Boss, Operation System activated. 10-day event. Boost submain combat power for rewards. Final payout by
My eyes lit up. I was already training like crazy, but I suddenly felt even more driven. I had to get the reward for 100% completion this time. I began insanely intense military-style physical training inside the air raid shelter. 3,546. Soaked in sweat, I finished 360 sets. After the last plank, I nearly collapsed, but I could feel my limits breaking and my strength rising. This method came from my most loyal subordinate, Xu Xiaoyang, an ex-soldier I once saved. He was silent, unshakably obedient, my sharpest blade, and he later died in front of me during a zombie siege. After training, I accepted that this life's path had changed. Having Sha-chan was enough. Each morning I still ran 10,000 meters around the shelter and checked the perimeter. No zombies yet. On day 3, the internet still worked and was flooded with pleas. People trapped, starving, begging for rescue. I remembered water failed first last life. Treatment pools contaminated. Fuel neglected. While power lasted longer. When power died, the network followed. I went back to training. The 10-day enhancement window meant every minute counted. Another week passed of nothing but training, showering, eating. 18 of 24 hours. Strength doubled. Speed rose. And I rebuilt my old hand-to-hand skills. Taking 5 big men at once was easy. I cooked spiced beef for myself and a huge beef bone soup packed with meat for Sha-chan. Inside the base we ate well while outside the city flipped. By day 10, people were forced to scavenge. Most died to hordes. Then the monitor alarmed. Someone entered camera range. I sprinted to surveillance. A small screen lit up. It was the feed from the warehouse I'd rented before. If I'd fled that day and forgotten.
She rented my warehouse 2 weeks ago. Lately, delivery trucks come and go daily. There have to be supplies. But it's hers on lease. Going in is illegal. Now, who cares?
Not illegal. Hurry grab. Whatever she is should be shared after a click. The old landlord let a mob in, but froze at the sight inside. Damn.
Why so empty? This your supplies overflow? You saw wrong.
What bad luck. Total waste. We came nervously and got nothing. The crowd cursed and left. The old landlord, furious, smashed the security camera. I sank into my chair, oddly pleased. I'd rented this warehouse expecting eyes on us, to shift supplies, but I'm petty. I won't forget him. Day 4. After an hour-long plank, my reward finally arrived. The moment the reward hit, power surged through me. Outside, I grabbed my armored vehicle's frame and, bracing hard, lifted the 20-ton beast a full centimeter. In burst state, I could sprint at world champion speed. The virus had erupted ahead of schedule. This life was already harder. Without electricity, cooking, lights, and monitoring all became harder. In the far infrared feed, the highway was jammed with cars fleeing, zombies streaming after them. By morning, the highway was littered with wrecks, and more zombies wandered in. I raised my crossbow, then stopped. Zombies on the perimeter were natural sentries. I needed more, not fewer. I drove and hiked toward the highway with Shatian. Shatian, don't kill them. Just maim them. This virus doesn't infect animals. Upgraded, she was a zombie killer. Back at base, after showering, the monitors screamed. A pickup loaded with goods was racing toward me. I climbed the tower, shot the tires as it entered range. 4 big men got out. One looked like the broker who'd rented me the shelter. They tried to force the truck forward on flats. I shot again and the surrounding zombies swarmed them. Shatan drove zombies to the outskirts while I retrieved my bolts. Then I waved and pulled the pickup supplies into my space. Loot: 10 cases of instant noodles, a crate of fresh meat, plus a box of untaxed gold. I confiscated it all and finished sorting when a system prompt sounded in my head. Points mall filled my head. A shop panel crammed with supplies. Food, meds, guns, and base materials, each with a price. Energy bar, 5 points, 10 hours. Bread, 8 points, 20 hours. White powder, 20 points. Stops bleeding and pain. The weapons tab was pure temptation. Every gun had bonus damage and accuracy, but the prices were insane, with only 26 points. I hoped the next raider would donate more. Then the monitors shrieked. In the control room, I spotted several trucks parked just outside camera range. They didn't invade, only shot zombies. Opened the back doors, dumped a pack of dogs, and drove off. The dogs chased a couple steps, then sat staring down the road. I couldn't make sense of it, so I let it go. Day 4 morning. My usual run made 10k warm up. At breakfast, I checked the phone feed. 14 or 15 dogs were still waiting. Then a new alert popped up.
Public alert. A city rescue begins. Vehicles entering. Survivors. Reach the listed assembly points now.
Yesterday's convoy was a rescue team, and these were their dogs. In vehicles, they cleared zombies from the main road outside the base. 15 dogs still guarded the intersection, gazing toward the city. Hurt. They clearly fought a battle last night out there, but with no sign of their handlers. They refused to leave. I took raw meat from storage and fed them. They devoured it, as if they hadn't eaten in ages. One dog's leg was badly mangled, So I grit my teeth and spent 20 plus points on a bottle of Bayao. Tiao. Remember this. Follow me. I won't abandon you, I said, wrapping the wound. He watched me, tail barely moving. A system prompt rang out. Detection.
Base hit 15. Lockdown 100%. Rewards. Health restored. Base upgraded again. 150 points.
The dogs beside me jolted awake, eyes blazing. Huge score. Roughly 150 base points and another upgrade. I couldn't wait to see what the upgrade unlocked for me. I hurried back to the shelter. It was transformed. The outer barbed wire was higher and thicker. Even if the damp tide returns, it should hold. Inside, new hidden doors lined the walls, each opening to a room I could set up as needed. I made one a surveillance room by installing the monitoring system. Another, filled with workout gear, became a training room. In the deepest room I placed a large bed I grabbed free from the mall. My bedroom. Each room had its own vent, water and power, and a drain. I checked the system shop. The food tab was updated. 5-point energy bars up to 100-point super energy noodles. All for quick stamina and fullness lasting hours to days. Food wasn't my issue. The medical tab, though, added items. 20-point white medicine, a 50-point super bandage, and a 100-point emergency pill. Details said the bandage could stick to any wound and rapidly repair damage, even arterial cuts. The pill could revive you as long as one breath remains. I raised an eyebrow. So even a cut throat could be patched. And that pill was absurd. Scrolling down, I spotted a zombie virus inhibitor for 100 million points. An inhibitor?
Cure zombie virus?
After the thrill faded, the price shut me up. 100 million points. With only 156. I had to walk away for now. Still, a system shop treasure like this would shake the world. So however hard it is, I must save up and get one. The medicine tab was tempting, but the weapons tab made me drool. A basic P5 is 50 points. SMGs and shotguns start at 50. The AKI-1 costs 80 and hits a tier harder than anything outside. An N times God level gun. At the end sits a locked page that needs 50 points to open. I'm dying to see what's behind it. I tapped earn points and got 3 tips. Finish system quests. Expand territory. Or recruit members. Starting tomorrow, I'll push outward and farm points. On day 4, I headed to the back hill. Spread my dogs to sweep it clean of zombies. Then planted a marker. Private land. Vicious dogs ahead. Border.
Double area. 1,000 points. First expansion. Loyalty.
As I thought, anywhere I or my dogs measure becomes mine. One hill paid 1,000 points. Take a city and 100 million is close. I close my eyes. Sense the territory link reward. And the back mountain and bunker map appears. Any outsider trips an instant 6th sense alarm always. Half a minute later it had already dropped a zombie that slipped into my turf. This gadget beats real-time surveillance. Nothing moves without me knowing. I cleared the ground in front of the shelter's wire, pushed to the roadside, and set a marker, so the boundary was clear. Next expansion? Left was the flat road to a city. Right was a quiet villa district. I chose the right. The city has too many people and zombies. Lock down the safer outskirts first. I ran until evening, swept another hill, and gained 1,000 points. Back at base I pulled fresh beef from storage. You've earned it. Eat. I'm not stingy with partners. If I eat meat, so do they. I also grabbed a Korean fried chicken set from my mall stash. Next day, same plan. I drove the armored car to the mountain villas. A rich development. 10 houses, about half unsold, few residents. I sent the dogs to check for survivors. Dongfeng and Nanfeng searched left. Zaifeng and Baifeng searched south. Hongzhong and Baiban went uphill. Ershao and Fasai stayed put to call me. And hurried. I hammered in a sign. Private territory. Trespassers die. The dogs returned. But no system prompt came. One look at the 10 villas told me I'd have to sweep them all. I left 4 outside on guard. Took the rest. And started with Villa 1. The gate was untouched. Clearly never sold. By the entrance, a fuel tank bore the character Sha. And a new map outline flashed in my head. I smiled faintly and kept sweeping the villas. Only 2 ahead were furnished. The rest were unfinished shells. And I saw nobody. At number 9, a car sat in the front garden. The windows had little dust, so whoever lived there hadn't been gone long. All windows were shut. I knocked. The sound echoed in the compound, but there was no answer. As I lifted my hand again, footsteps came from inside. Someone was there, alive. That left me torn. Apocalypse or not, killing humans who haven't crossed me feels wrong. I chose to spare them and turned away. But the door opened. I brought the dogs to claim turf near the shelter. And here I met my first fire-powered man. Behind him stood his wife and a 5-year-old girl. Everything else is mine. Don't enter. He headed for another villa. Then called. Inside.
Man eating zombies. Don't.
I didn't look back. Just headed for the last villa. Number 10. Moments later, one muffled shot and 3 zombies went down. Killing them is easy for me. The surprise was a gold inside box and 1 zombie skull. Bases once paid big for these. A familiar thought stirred.
Audio alert. Zombie gold box active. Trade for common L1.
Worth 10 gold, I redeemed it. The box vanished, and a voice echoed inside. Come.
What an unexpected haul. Just the buyout in.
The emergency pill alone was worth 120 plus points, and I'd seen this revolver on the weapons page for 50-something. I stowed everything, swept the basement again, and found a cabinet of fine wine, gold bars and jewelry in the safe, and in the garage a motorcycle and 2 sports cars. Now, all mine. Leaving, I wrote a huge "Shaw" on the gate, and my domain map updated with this villa's footprint. By then I'd taken every house here except villa number 9. As I hit the main road, a family of 3 appeared, straight from number 9.
Miss, can we make a deal? I'm a botanist. I breed crops and want to trade.
Daughter brought greens and sprouts. A crate full? I picked through, not afraid I'll take them all. He shook his head. I grow them?
Not complicated. I said.
Bean sprouts in the box shot up fast. And I knew at once he was a wood-type esper. No wonder he kept his wife and child in the mow room for over a month. Protecting them at home takes skill. But living on veggies will leave the kid malnourished. I don't need them. Keep them, we've got more vegetables than we can eat. I turned to go. He panicked and called. Miss!
What do you need? My whole family can give you supplies and half our daily vegetables. I'm coming.
Boss! Go to territory.
Accepted incoming residents gain 30 points and the territory resident special attribute.
I woke instantly and agreed to take their special trait. Wang Yuming and his wife looked at me like someone to fear and worship, merely kneeling. A strange force churned inside me. I brushed the girl's planter box, and the vegetables shot out, faster than she could make them. The couple took me for a stronger esper, grateful yet uneasy that I still accepted them. I carved a "Sha" on their mailbox, and my map was finally complete. From today on, I'm your lord. I'll protect you and reward you by contribution. They agreed at once. In the apocalypse, shelter and food are everything. I had their daughter, Wang Yunduo, come with me for supplies. My bunker was close. Since they couldn't store much, I gave only a bag of rice, a case of milk, a tray of eggs, and 10 gin of pork. I hooked it to the cart and had Hong Zhang and Bai Ban haul it, escorting her home. After that, their harvest would arrive daily. Next day, Yunduo delivered 1 crate of greens, half bean sprouts, half Napa cabbage, chopped.
Vegetable pickup. 3 points.
System alert. I earn daily points from territory output, apparently by population. Wang Yuming's household of 3 adds 3 points a day. Delighted. I sent him back with seeds and a lollipop. Wang Yunduo went home too, escorted by Bai Ban and Hong Zhang. Afterward I checked my map. West to the villa district seemed doable. East, the highway swarmed with zombies, so I avoided it. North might meet K1 base. I chose to push south toward a city. In the armored vehicle I cleared about 20 mu along the road as a buffer, and the dogs wiped out roamers inside our border. Loot was scarce, mostly supplies logged in abandoned cars. At home I counted mixed rice, half a sack of flour, plus noodles and processed food, then tossed it. The haul was small, but the run paid 20 points. What I need most. I've got food for lifetimes. Points buy top-tier gear in the system shop. Over the next days I expanded daily. My mental map grew several times and my total neared 70. Points rose fast with each trip. I'm saving to redeem an AK rifle soon. As I aimed for 80, red dots flashed on the map. Zombies are gray. Red means living intruders. Outside the bunker. Moving toward my territory.